A medical student got stuck upside down. For 27 hours, he hung helplessly inside a crack barely 10 inches wide. When rescuers tried to pull him up, his legs were cold, limp, and jammed against the cave ceiling. They couldn't move him. Then came the hardest choice. To save his life, they might have to break his legs. Would it work, or would it only make things worse? It's a true story, the most haunting cave rescue in Nutty Putty history. November 24, 2009. John Edward Jones, 28 years old, along with his younger brother Josh and 9 friends, he set out to explore Nutty Putty Cave in Utah. Nutty Putty had a reputation for being beginner-friendly. Plenty of wide, open chambers, but deep inside, it was a deadly maze. Narrow, twisting tunnels. Some are tight enough to trap even the most experienced explorers. At 7 p.m., the group stepped into Nutty Putty, full of excitement. They explored the maze room, slid down a narrow passage called the Slide. Everything was going great. Laughter echoed through the cave. But then, John and Josh decided to split off. They wanted a challenge. Their target, a tunnel with a name that sounded like a warning, the birth canal. John had seen it on the map. He knew it was tight, really tight. But he believed he could make it. John went first. Josh followed close behind. The deeper they crawled, the tighter it got. They reached a section called the Corkscrew, a V-shaped crack, just 12 inches high. John twisted his body, tucked in his arms, pressed his chest flat, then forced himself through. He made it. Breathing hard. John was 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. There was no room to turn around. Only one option left. Keep pushing forward and hope the tunnel opens up. What he didn't know, that choice had no way back. Ahead of him, a steep rock ledge, almost a straight drop down. It was tight, dangerously tight. But John stayed calm. According to the map, once he passed this final squeeze in the birth canal, he'd reach a wide open chamber, a place big enough to stand, turn, and head back. John sucked in his stomach. Head first, he slid his chest over the ledge. Then, something shifted. His legs slipped. The weight of his body dragged him down, deeper, faster, into the slope. He tried to stop himself, pressed his palms against the stone, tensed every muscle, but it was too late. Still, John stayed calm. He believed he was still inside the birth canal, and he knew plenty of explorers had gotten stuck there before. They panicked, but they made it out. So would he. He kept going, shuffling his body forward, inch by inch. Then, a small hole appeared ahead. John lit up. This had to be it. The drop that led to the wide-open chamber, a place to finally turn around. Without hesitation, John pushed forward and let himself fall in. But there was no chamber, no open space. Just a dead-end pocket, a tight, unknown shaft only 10 inches wide. John had made a wrong turn, left instead of right. This wasn't the birth canal. It was uncharted territory, a section that didn't exist on any map. John froze. His body was now wedged at a steep angle, nearly 70 degrees headfirst, arms trapped at his sides, no room to move, no way to breathe deeply. He was truly stuck. Josh heard the panic in John's voice. He crawled back down, fast, and when his light hit the space, he froze in terror. His brother was hanging upside down, jammed in the crack like a human pendulum. Josh backed out, scrambled toward the exit, and called for help. 12:30 a.m. The rescue began. Over 100 people showed up: police, medics, cave specialists. The first to reach John was Susie Moda, a petite rescue worker. She gave him water, asked questions, tried to keep him calm. Then, she cut away his jeans, rubbed lubricant on his legs, and tied a rope to his boots. She and 2 others began pulling, but the angle was wrong, too horizontal. Each tug twisted his legs, bruises spread up his thighs. John screamed in pain. Susie stopped immediately. They couldn't risk ripping a tendon, or worse, they considered drilling the rock. But the risk? Too high. One wrong crack could collapse the cave. Stone dust could choke him. They thought about inflating airbags under his body, but the tunnel was too narrow. No equipment could fit. Nearly 14 hours, John had been hanging upside down, wedged in rock, with no escape. There was no other option. Rescuers decided to install a pulley system. They'd pull him out, inch by inch. But time was the real killer. His body was breaking down. Blood was flooding his head. Fluid filled his lungs. Organs were pressing against each other. Every breath was a battle. John started hallucinating, breathing fast, thrashing, and he knew exactly what was happening. He was a medical student. He understood science. One system at a time. His body was shutting down, and knowing that, while being powerless to stop it. That was the worst kind of fear. It took nearly an hour to get the pulley into position. While they worked, they tried to keep John awake, connected him to a radio line, so he could hear his wife, Emily. She told him she was pregnant, a baby boy. They were both waiting for him to come home. John nodded weakly. His breathing was shallow. His vision, blurry. He didn't have the strength to reply. And now, the question hung in the air. How much longer could he hold on? 4:00 p.m. The pulley system was ready. Inside the tunnel, rescue lead Ryan Schertz took position. He gave the signal and started pulling. John's body began to rise, slowly, inches at a time. Everyone held their breath, eyes locked on every tiny movement. Then, thud. John's purple, motionless legs slammed into the cave ceiling. He was stuck. There was no more room, no way forward. Then, someone said it, the unspeakable. We might have to break his legs. No one wanted to say it out loud, but time was running out, and then snap. A loud crack echoed through the cave. The main anchor bolt sheared off. Metal whipped back and smashed into Ryan's face. Blood poured. He collapsed, injured, out of action. And just like that, the entire system was down. John was alone again. Dave was the next to enter. It took him another hour just to replace the broken bolt. When he finally reached John, John didn't respond. No movement, no sound, just silence. A medical team was sent in immediately. At 11:56 p.m., John Edward Jones was pronounced dead. Nearly 27 hours, trapped upside down, inside a hole just 10 inches wide. That day's exploration became a one-way journey. After the longest cave rescue attempt in Utah's history, the team had to make a heartbreaking decision. John's body would remain underground forever. Nutty Putty had a long history of accidents. It was shut down in 2006 after multiple close calls, though it reopened just months before John's visit. His death ended all hope of recovery. Officials ordered the cave to be sealed, permanently, with concrete. Nutty Putty became a stone tomb, a place with no way back. A small plaque was placed at the entrance. It bears one name and one date that changed everything. John loved adventure. He had the knowledge. He had the experience. He wasn't careless, but one wrong decision, and he never made it back. Caves don't forgive mistakes. Sometimes it's not about courage. It's about which path you choose. Do you think John could have survived? If it were you, would you keep exploring or turn back at the edge of danger? Let us know what you think in the comments.